Tom Wills, the father of Aussie Rules. Good day, footy fans. Deal with Facts welcomes you. Today, we're diving into the origins of a sport that has become the heartbeat of Australia. Let's talk about Aussie Rules, the heart and soul of our nation. This sport isn't just a game. It's a cultural phenomenon that unites communities and ignites passion across the country. It's a game like no other, born right here in the great land of Australia. From the bustling cities to the remote outback, Aussie Rules is played and loved by millions. And it all started with a bloke named Tom Wills. Tom was more than just a sportsman. He was a visionary who saw the potential for a uniquely Australian game. Tom was a true Aussie legend. Born in 1835, he grew up in the rugged Australian bush where he developed a love for sport and competition. He loved cricket, but he wanted a sport that was even tougher, even more exciting. Cricket was great, but Tom dreamed of something that could capture the spirit of the Australian people. A game for our harsh land and our even tougher people. He envisioned a sport that would reflect the resilience and strength of Australians. He looked around and saw the Indigenous Australians playing their traditional game of Marn. He saw the high marks, the lightning-fast handballs, and the sheer athleticism. The Indigenous game was dynamic and thrilling, and it sparked an idea in Tom's mind. Tom knew he was onto something special. He began to think about how he could create a new sport that combined the best elements of Marn with the structure of cricket. He took inspiration from the Indigenous game and blended it with his own ideas, and bam, Aussie Rules was born. The first match was played in 1858, and it didn't take long for the game to catch on. People loved the fast pace, the high-flying marks, and the physicality. Today, Aussie Rules is more than just a sport, it's a way of life. From the grassroots clubs to the professional AFL, it brings people together and creates unforgettable moments. So next time you watch a game, remember Tom Wills, the father of Aussie Rules, and the incredible journey that brought this amazing sport to life. Now let's talk about this wasn't just a game, it was a way of life for Indigenous Australians. They played it for centuries, passing down the skills and passion from generation to generation. Was all about keeping fit, showing off your skills, and bringing people together. It was played with a ball made from possum skin, stuffed with feathers or grass. The game involved kicking, catching, and handballing the ball, just like in AFL. The players were incredibly agile and could leap high into the air to catch the ball. Tom Wills recognized the brilliance of. He saw how it could be adapted into a new sport, a sport that would capture the spirit of Australia. Picture this. Melbourne, 1858, a bustling city on the rise, filled with the energy of a new era. The sun is shining, the birds are singing, and the air is filled with a sense of anticipation. A bunch of blokes are about to make history, gathering in the heart of the city. It's July 10th, and the first official game of Aussie Rules is about to kick off. The excitement is electric. On one side, we've got Scotch College, a team known for their determination and spirit. On the other, it's Melbourne Grammar, equally fierce and ready to prove their mettle. The tension is palpable, the crowd is going wild, their cheers echoing through the streets. Everyone knows they're witnessing something monumental. These young lads are about to create something truly special, something that will be remembered for generations. And you know what? They did. Their passion and energy were unmatched. The game was a ripper. It was intense, with every player giving their all. It was fast-paced, it was tough, and it was full of skill. The players showcased incredible athleticism and strategy. The crowd was on the edge of their seats the whole time, their excitement growing with every play. That day, a legend was born. The game of Aussie Rules Football had made its grand debut. Aussie Rules had arrived, and it was here to stay. This was just the beginning of a sport that would capture the hearts of millions. Melbourne would never be the same again. The birth of Aussie Rules Football marked a new chapter in the city's history, one filled with pride, passion, and an unbreakable community spirit. Today, the legacy of that first game lives on, as Aussie Rules continues to thrive, bringing people together from all walks of life. From its humble beginnings to the present day, Aussie Rules Football remains a testament to the enduring power of sport to unite and inspire. Word about this incredible new game spread like wildfire. People couldn't get enough of it, and just a year after that first game, in 1859, two legendary clubs were formed. The Melbourne Football Club and the Geelong Football Club. Talk about pioneers. These were the clubs that laid the foundation for the game we know and love today. They set the standard, and they showed everyone what Aussie Rules was all about. Melbourne, the Mighty Demons, and Geelong, the Roaring Cats. These two clubs have been rivals from the very beginning. Their clashes are the stuff of legend, full of passion, pride, and a whole lot of history. Section 5, from paddock to pitch, formalizing the game. In the early days, Aussie Rules was a bit of a free-for-all. There were no set rules, no boundaries, and definitely no fancy stadiums. Teams just rocked up to a park or a paddock and had a kick. But as the game grew in popularity, things started to get a bit more organized. In 1877, the Victorian Football Association, or VFA, was formed. This was a huge step for the sport. The VFA brought in proper rules, standardized the playing field, and started organizing competitions. It was the birth of Aussie Rules as a professional sport. Section 6, crossing borders, the rise of interstate football. Aussie Rules wasn't going to stay confined to Victoria for long. The game was too good, too exciting, too bloody Australian. Soon, it started spreading to other states like wildfire. South Australia jumped on board in 1877, followed by Tasmania in 1879. The game was quickly becoming a national obsession, and then, in 1897, a momentous occasion, the first ever interstate match. Victoria took on South Australia in a clash for the ages. It was a sign of things to come, a glimpse into the future of Aussie Rules as a truly national sport. Section 7, legends and legacies. The Brownlow Medal and beyond. As the game evolved, so did its legends. The history of Aussie Rules football is rich with stories of incredible athletes who have left an indelible mark on the sport. These players were not just participants, they were pioneers, pushing the boundaries of what was possible on the field. We're talking about the best of the best, the players who could make your jaw drop with their skills and athleticism. Their ability to read the game, their physical prowess, and their sheer determination set them apart from the rest. They were the ones who could turn a game on its head with a single play. And what better way to honor these legends than with the Brownlow Medal? This prestigious award is more than just a trophy. It's a testament to the hard work, dedication, and excellence of the players who receive it. First awarded in 1924, the Brownlow is the most prestigious individual award in Aussie Rules. It was named after Charles Brownlow, a former Geelong Football Club player and administrator who was known for his sportsmanship and integrity. It's a symbol of excellence, a recognition of the best player in the league. Winning the Brownlow Medal is the pinnacle of individual achievement in Aussie Rules football, a moment that players and fans alike cherish forever. From Hayden Bunton Sr. to Bob Pratt, these players set the standard for what it means to be a Brownlow medalist. Their contributions to the game are still remembered and celebrated today. From Dick Reynolds to John Coleman, each of these legends brought something unique to the game. Their skills, their leadership, and their passion for the sport have left a lasting legacy. The Brownlow Honor Roll reads like a who's who of Aussie Rules royalty. Each name on that list represents a player who has reached the pinnacle of their sport, earning their place in the annals of AFL history. These were the players who inspired generations, the ones who made the game what it is today. Their influence extends beyond the field, as they have become role models for young players and fans alike. The legacy of the Brownlow Medal continues to inspire current and future generations of players. As we look to the future, we can only imagine the new legends who will emerge, carrying forward the proud tradition of excellence in Aussie Rules football. Section 8. From VFL to AFL, a national transformation. For decades, the Victorian Football League, or VFL, was the pinnacle of Aussie Rules. But the game was destined for bigger things. It was time to go national, to conquer new frontiers. And so in 1990, a seismic shift occurred. The VFL rebranded as the Australian Football League, or AFL. This was a game changer. The AFL wasted no time in expanding its reach. New teams were introduced in Western Australia, Queensland, and New South Wales. Aussie Rules was no longer just a Victorian sport, it was a national phenomenon. Section 9. Aussie Rules goes global. Aussie Rules is a game that gets in your blood. It's a game that brings people together. A game that unites a nation. And it's a game that's starting to capture hearts all over the world. From the United States to Ireland, from South Africa to China, Aussie Rules is gaining a foothold in every corner of the globe. The International Rules Series, played between Australia and Ireland, has been a huge success, showcasing the athleticism and excitement of the game to a global audience. And with the AFL's commitment to growing the game internationally, there's no doubt that Aussie Rules is on the cusp of becoming a truly global sport. Section 10. Kicking on the AFL during the pandemic. Like everything else, the AFL was hit hard by the COVID-19 pandemic. Games were postponed, crowds were banned, and the very future of the sport was uncertain. But you know what? Aussie Rules is a game of resilience, of never giving up, of always fighting back. And that's exactly what the AFL did. They found a way, they adapted, they innovated, and they kept the game alive. They moved games to different states, they played in empty stadiums, and they brought joy to millions of fans who desperately needed it. Section 11. The future is female, AFLW and beyond. In 2017, the AFL made history with the launch of the AFL Women's, or AFLW, competition. This was a watershed moment, a giant leap forward for women's sport in Australia. The AFLW has been a resounding success, capturing the hearts of fans across the country. The skill, the athleticism, the passion, it's all there, and it's inspiring a new generation of female athletes. The future of Aussie Rules is bright, and it's female. With the continued growth of the AFLW and the unwavering passion of fans across the nation, there's no doubt that Aussie Rules will continue to thrive for generations to come.